Well, as y'all know, um, I did mention briefly the other day that I was going to get another foot surgery done, this time in America. Reason I'm telling you that is my foot's actually hurting me right now. It's going up my leg into my left buttocks. And the funny thing is, when I got back from Mexico, a little while went by, a week or two or whatever it was, and I felt that same thing. And I'm like, oh no, not that again. And then it felt like it healed up because it felt like it was hurting inside, like a wound, which it didn't feel that way coming up to that point, like after the surgery. Then it started hurting like there was a wound in there. Then it went away, and I was like, oh, this actually feels pretty good. Then it came, not that came back, but just a dull kind of soreness was always in there. And I'm like, man, that's funny because now it doesn't go up my leg anymore, which is great because I couldn't hardly sleep on my left side. But now I've got this dull pain in there, and it's not going away. So saw another doctor. Hang on one second. So I had to blow my nose. Didn't want to do that without pausing it. And anyway, so my foot got back from Mexico, was healing up, and they did a serious cut job from the. If this is my toe, right here, the pinky, they went from the inside right here, all the way down here, and then like that way to get in there, spread it out open, and get that cyst out of there. I got back, it was healing up, feeling like, hey, it's not too bad. Then all of a sudden, a couple of weeks, whatever it was into it, after I got back, I felt like, man, it kind of hurts inside. It feels like a wound is healing, but inside and in that spot. And then I'm like, oh no, it's going up my leg again. So I couldn't roll over for like the next 3 days. And then it went away. I'm like, actually, my foot feels kind of good. So I was like, hey, actually, this is not bad at all. And I was okay. But then I felt this weird kind of I don't know, maybe a month later, kind of like a dull, soreness inside there. And I'm like, man, it's not like it was, but there's still something going on. So I was like, I'm not going to give up. So called around, found another foot doctor locally, nearby, went over there, and he looked in there, was like, yeah, let's take an x-ray. He's like, it looks like you've got a couple of small accessory bones, like almost next to each other, on top of each other kind of a thing. And that might be what's causing your problem. He's like, I want you to get another MRI since you just got back from Mexico a few months ago. And so I can know what I'm going to get into. And maybe we'll go into the side of your foot over here to get, just snip those bones out, if that's what it is. Well, after looking at the MRI, he says, there are two little tiny accessory bones, but they're inside the something, whatever, tendon or something. He's like, and in that case, usually that's fine. It's when they're outside on their own, that's when they're a problem. Yours are fine. It's probably not the issue. He says, however, there's something showing up. It's in the same spot that all your other MRIs showed something. And I'm like, but I saw the cyst they cut out. He goes, well, they may have cut a cyst around this area out, but there's still something in there. I'm like, all right. So we went and scheduled the surgery, and an opening came up where it's like, oh, we got one like in 2 days. I was normally going to have to wait till December to go in. And I was like, oh, I'll take it. Doesn't matter what day it is, I'll take it. So that's when I took that Wednesday, Thursday, Friday off. And so he said, when I cut whatever out there is in you out of you, I'm going to do another scan and see if it looks good. And then I'll sew you back up if it does. That way I know we got that mark, whatever was on there. I thought, that sounds good. So I woke up. He said it looked like you had some kind of tumorous growth off turmeric, like seasoning and stuff. I had some turmeric in my foot. Tumorous growth off the side of a nerve, and it was inflamed, which is essentially a neuroma. But he says this was like deep where they normally are not at. So he's like, I was able to get it. I saw it because it was inflamed. Normally you're not going to be able to see it. A nerve is like the tip of a hair. But when it's inflamed like that, you can see it. And so he's like, I cut it off. We're not sure what it was. We're going to find out. So when I went back a week later to do the first preliminary checkup or whatever, or afterwards, post-op, He said, yeah, the results came back. It was your nerve. It was just inflamed. It was a neuroma essentially deep inside your foot. So he's like, we got it out. Let's see how it goes. And so that was good. I got to go back again this coming Monday, actually. Yeah, this coming up Monday. And it's the final thing where he just kind of says, okay, you can go ahead and put weight on it now or whatever. But like just last night, I had that sensation again, like I did in Mexico after I did that, not in Mexico, but when I got back, a couple weeks later, wherever it was. And now it's been 2 or 3 weeks since I had my surgery, actually. So, actually, no. Well, actually, yeah, it's been about 2 weeks. It's about roughly the same time, I think. And I'm like, man, my foot's hurting in that spot again. It feels like there's a wound, like a cut in there. Same kind of a thing. And I feel it up my leg this time. Like last night, I couldn't hardly roll over. And I'm like, man, it's the same thing that happened with the Mexico deal. So I'm thinking, but, he got the nerve out this time. So I'm kind of hoping that it's last 2 or 3 days like it did last time. And I feel like, hey, it feels great this time, like it did last time. And then maybe it doesn't come back. It's kind of what I'm hoping. Because he asked me that day before we went in for surgery when I was getting ready to go in. It's just kind of going over the basic stuff. This we're going to do this. Yep, okay. You have any questions? I said, well, I just have one. And I got faith in you. I'm hopeful that you'll fix this. But if by chance it doesn't fix it, I still got this problem, this pain, can we at least have a conversation? Will you at least look at a possibility of just cutting that area out, just amputate it? I can't take it anymore if that's the case. He said, well, I just did an amputation yesterday. And he was looking at me like, it's not nice. It's not good, to do that. He's like, but we will definitely have a conversation about it if this does not fix it. And I'm going to tell you how the conversation is going to go if I have to go back there. He's going to say, Doc, you went in, you found something that no one else found. You found a neuroma deep inside my foot. Nobody else found it. It's on the same spot as the MRI. You did what should have been done the very first time, which is when I went to that female doctor that I told you all about. But it's still there. And listen, I know you don't want to do these, but just hear me out. If you tell me no, and you might be ready to tell me no, I don't want to do that kind of amputation. I'm going to say, listen, I did a video a little while back on YouTube, and I was telling people to ask, why doesn't God heal amputees? And I want to get my foot amputated so I can prove that theory or make it false. Can you help me out on that? Actually, I'm just kidding. I'm not going to say that. What I am going to say is, Doc, if you don't do this here, without any question, I'm getting on a plane, going back to San Diego, have his daughter pick me up again at the airport, take me across the border, amputate my foot in Mexico by myself. No one's going to be with me. And then come back, that part of my foot by my toe. Somehow get back on a plane, hobble or whatever I got to do to come back here. I'm going to get this cut off because I can't live like this anymore. And at that point, I'm hoping he'll say, okay, I'll do it. Only because I can't stand to see you get on a plane, go to Mexico to get a thing cut off, and then come. I'll do it. And by the way, Doc, I'll sign anything, any release of responsibility to just cut this damn thing off. I can't take it anymore. Having said that, in 2 to 3 days from now, we'll see just where this foot is. Because I will tell you, just a few days ago, as I was putting a little bit of pressure on her to kind of feel like, because I'm curious, is it feeling better? It actually felt like, okay, that spot's is not hurting. But now I'm doing this thing again where like something's in my foot regenerating again and it hurts for 2 or 3 days. So wanted to give you all a little, update on my foot. Because I felt like, man, I don't know if I want to sit out here right now tonight and do, 2 15 or 20 minute videos with my foot hurting. But I just had my wife give me one of the pain pills that they gave me, which I hadn't even really been taking any. First couple of days I took some. And then I'm like, well, I can deal with this. This isn't that bad at all. So I don't want to take pain pills if I don't have to. Tonight, a Little different story. Just like the last time I went at my leg with Mexican doctors, I said, all right, I'm going to take some pain. And he gave me some pain medicine too then. And for those 2-3 days, I was taking them once a day. And so here I am doing it again. Maybe it's just part of this process whenever they go into that spot and cut, and cut it just does it. I don't know. And I'm assuming that nerve, when it was inflamed, is aggravating the main nerve that goes up and down my leg. And now that that's cut out, maybe that'll, once this goes away in the next day or two, maybe that won't do what it did before, because now it's definitely gone. So I just wanted to keep y'all updated, because I was very upset with the first doctor, even more upset with the second and third doctors, who, as you know, one says, have you thought about doing have you tried the physical therapy yet? Keeping in mind what I just told you, they cut an inflamed, aggravated nerve out of my foot that had like a tumorous growth off the side of the thing, right? It's an inflamed nerve. Have you thought of, yeah, doc, I walk on it every day. Get the hell out of here. Next doctor, really can't do any more surgeries. My sister's had 3 surgeries. She's not going in for anymore. Okay, but at that point, I only had one surgery, and it was at the very top. It's no big deal. Minor surgery. Yeah, I could give you some B12 shots. B12, like what? Like vitamin B12? Yes. Like in my foot? Yeah. What does that do? Well, it has, kind of helps heal a little bit and things like that. Oh yeah, I think we'll pass on that, doc. Okay. All right, yep. I'll be on my way now. Get me out of here as soon as possible. Evelyn, call the doctor in Mexico. I'm out of here. Saw me right away, cut that cyst out. I was feeling good. But then, again, this little issue happened. The issue happened because, remember, when I went there, they weren't going there to check, to run a new MRI on me, to do new x-ray scans. They were going in, you want us to cut what is probably a cyst out, come in, we'll do it. They looked at my old MRI and said, okay, yeah, that looks like where the spot is. It's where you're telling us it hurts. So what I think I had was a cyst that developed because of this massively inflamed nerve. And together, they were just causing me problems. So one got taken out, but the other part remained, which is why it was never as bad as it was before, after I came back from Mexico. So, fingers crossed that it goes well, and I can tell you the full story from start to finish, because people have been asking me, once you get this all finalized and take care of, tell us the whole story. And that's what I'm going to do. But this is an update in case you're wondering, because I briefly talked about it, and I'm sure you guys are like, what do you mean another surgery? Didn't you just have one in Mexico? And I didn't really talk about it. So I just want to do a little video here to tell you about it, because I know you just care about me so much. I appreciate you guys. Take care.